We're going to start today with a quiz.
Ooh.
All right, what do haggis and treacle sponge have in common?
Oh my gosh. I've never eaten either one.
True, but they're also considered a pudding by the British.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to give you one guess as to what we're making today.
Oh dear Lord, I hope it's not haggis. Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon.
Get your apron on and your fanny flicker ready as we cook up some nostalgia.
Ooh, yummy.
Welcome to today's episode of Mom's Wooden Spoon.
Welcome everyone.
While today's recipe is not British, actually, Mary took it from a Williams-Sonoma cookbook.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is a savory pudding, and that concept is decidedly British.
It really is.
Yeah, so for fun, I think we should do this entire episode in a British accent. What do
Oh
you
my
think?
gosh, I love it. Pip pip cheerio and all that.
Aye, aye, governor.
Oh my God, that is so bad.
I have no British accent ability whatsoever.
That's
None.
terrible. And there are so many different British accents.
Tons. And I can do none of them.
No.
And
No.
sound even remotely British.
So then let's not do this because that will be awkward.
I don't know. It could be a jolly good time. See, bad.
That is so bad.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
This Mary's memo is from August 11th, 1997.
Oh, that was a good year.
It was.
Yeah.
And the recipe is titled Cheese and Onion Pudding.
And we chose that because the name was so daggone weird.
Yeah, I mean, what is a cheese and onion pudding? And more importantly,
Yes.
when do you eat it and how? Is it a side dish?
Right.
Is it a main dish?
In the mid 1800s in America, they would actually use puddings to take care of any old oats they had or old stale bread.
Sure.
And they would mix it with a variety of things that were more expensive to kind of stretch.
The more expensive stuff.
Yes.
Ah, look at us smart people back in the day.
I think that's really smart. But then in the early 1900s, there were these food reformers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What were they doing to food to reform it? They were talking harshly to it?
They were talking harshly to the folks that ate these savory puddings
Oh.
and putting them down and saying, that's for poor people and that's not the way that American society eats.
Oh,
Yeah.
They were here in the U.S.
Here in the U.S.
Reformers.
That's right. And basically they're like, oh, you poor folk, that's fine. You can continue to eat your puddings, but the rest of us are going to eat our meat and our vegetables separately.
So my husband comes from rich people stock.
He must, because that's how he likes to eat.
And I am purely peasant.
I mean, we really are.
I love casseroles.
Oh, they're so delicious. And then they brought it all back. So the early 1900s, people were eating a meat and a vegetable. They weren't eating these casseroles.
Right. And then the Depression hit.
Right.
And everybody was poor people.
You got it. Isn't that cool?
That is.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. And then it took me down this road of pudding. I'm like, oh, I have to know. Because we all know that in Britain, they call every dessert pudding.
Oh, I mean, if you're cool, you just call it a pud.
A pud. I love that. And so I was wondering why they call it that.
Well, yeah, because it's weird. So we have these savory puddings.
Right.
They actually have pudding.
Yeah.
Like a custardy dish.
Yes.
That is a pudding.
Right.
Yet all desserts are puddings.
Puddings.
So can we make it more convoluted and complicated?
I don't think you can.
I did read an article by someone who is British who said, no, you can't. And we like it that way.
That's hilarious. Can you say that in a British accent?
No,
we can't. And we like it that way.
Was that a British accent?
I don't think so. I think that was awful.
I think that sounded very posh.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, well, it actually has to do with poshness.
Oh, shut up.
Yes, so pudding actually came from the lower classes. They would eat a lot of puddings, like rice pudding and something called a spotted dick.
I love it. I bought A can of spotted. You can buy it in a can.
Yes, I bought it in little plastic tubs for my son and I to try.
Was it good?
No, it was too sweet to me.
That happens?
I know, right? It was kind of like a sponge cake filled with raisins, and that's where the spots come from. Spotted dick. It's filled with currants or raisins.
Uh-huh.
But the whole reason it was called a dick is because that's the old-fashioned word for pudding.
Look at you bringing it all
I
around,
know,
girl.
right? They would call it a puddick.
A
puddick. And so then they just called it a spotted dick.
How about that?
And I'm doing the let's go hand sign.
Well, because that is synonymous with spotted dick.
Right, I know, right?
Obviously.
So back to the poorer folks eating the ye old spotted dick and rice pudding, right?
Yep.
The Richie McRichersons
Yeah.
would eat delicious things like chocolate mousse and souffle and champagne jelly.
Oh, that
Right?
sounds yucky.
I know. And those were called dessert.
Oh, so
Right.
how did the poor people word take over as the norm? That's not usually what happens. Usually it's the higher
Right.
class word that the poor people, use.
Right. Well, apparently, because there was just so much of this eating of the puddings that if you were going to have a dessert, you were going to have a spotted dick.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Or just a pud.
Or a pud. So that's where it came from. The poor
How
folks.
about-
The poor folks won.
Oh, my boobs.
Yeah.
I like it.
So let's talk about this pud.
Yeah, so that was a long roundabout story. It was kind of like a spring. It just kept coiling and coiling. And so
It did.
here we are Here we back at the cheese and onion pudding. We still don't know if it's a main dish or a side dish.
I'm going to assume it is a side dish.
One would assume, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And so this is really interesting. So this has in it onions that we slice.
What?
I know, cheese and onion.
Does it have cheese in it?
No. And then it has 3 eggs. So I think it's going to make it a little custardy.
Oh, I was thinking kind of souffle-y.
Oh, maybe. I'm really interested to see how this turns out. It has 2 cups of milk and fresh breadcrumms.
Yeah, and Mary was very specific about the fresh breadcrumbs. Don't use that stale old crummy bread. Yeah.
Crippy crummy, because that's a new word.
As I like to do.
It's like color me purple and call me happy.
I did not crumble up the bread. I didn't the bread.
Yeah, well, that's going to sound great on the audio there.
Now you can pick which one you like the best.
Thank you.
I didn't do the bread crumbs early because I figured as soon as they got into crumb form, they were just going to stale up in a second.
Real quickly. Right. Okay, so we have our onions in front of us, and this is the weirdest thing, Carrie. We have to cook these onions for 30 minutes.
Yes. Okay, so before we are impressed with the cooking of the onions, I would like you to please put the knife down.
I am demonstrating with a very, very sharp knife, and I'm moving it up and down. We have to decide what we're going to do slasher film towards Carrie.
She's still doing it.
Now, before we cook, we actually need to decide how we're going to slice it. Do we want to cut the onions in half and cut slices off the half, or do we want to quarter each half?
I think we should use a whole onion and just slice rings off of that. And I say that only because you've already halved your onion.
You're a jerk.
And guess who's still gesturing with her knife?
And now, everybody, guess what I'm gesturing with? Now, she's cutting it in half. Do we want to do quarters or do we want to do slices of the half?
I think slices of the half.
Slices
all
of
right.
the half. Okay.
So just so you all know what's going to happen here is I'm going to work super diligently at slicing this onion. And I will get a quarter of my onion sliced, and Kristen will be harassing me because she's completely done with slicing hers.
That is how we always roll with onions. Well, that's how we roll with everything.
With everything.
I harass Carrie.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good plan. I think you're doing a great job, Carrie.
Oh, come on. Nobody buys that.
Nope, nobody does.
The people know you're lying, Kristen. I know you're lying. The people
They know. Yeah.
Gosh, slicing is not good. I've taken a couple cooking classes before.
Yeah.
they're really mostly to teach you how to like cook a specific meal.
Right.
And inevitably, we start cutting something, and the chef who's in charge of the class
Yeah.
gets this look of horror and dismay on their face and comes running over to me
What?
to correct what I'm doing.
No.
Oh, yeah. I'm apparently just awful.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
We love to take cooking classes when we travel. So we went to Jamaica. We took a cooking class there. We went to New Orleans. We took a cooking
When
class
did you
there
go to Jamaica?
on a cruise.
Oh,
And so we love it.
yeah.
And the one we took in New Orleans, the chef taught us how to properly cut onions. And so that is why I'm so good and you're so bad.
Oh, well, I mean, then there's also the fact that I don't cook.
Oh, well, that's true.
So in my day-to-day life, I cut onions exactly never.
That is true. You're right.
Yeah.
And
So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting the onion, and then as I get to the part of the onion that starts to slope towards the
fingers,
I give it to Kristen and let her finish, because that's kind of when the chef would look at me with shock and
get nervous,
horror.
right?
I don't know what I'm doing that's so insanely incorrect, but I know that I am doing it.
I think you're doing it out of fear, don't you think? Because you don't want to cut your fingers off?
I didn't have fear.
Oh.
Until the chef started looking at me.
Hilarious.
They had fear, and so I thought I should probably take a cue from them and also have fear. I've never cut myself. That's pretty much it.
Oh my gosh. Well, Carrie, 1997 was a great year for me because that's the year I got married.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you're still married to the guy, so no regret there.
That's true. That's true. And I think I said in one of our latest episodes that I am married to the best husband ever because he talks all the time about how much he loves my food.
Oh, yes.
Yep. And who wouldn't love that?
Right. Nobody talks all the time about my food.
It's because you don't cook. You already...
Carrie, this is such a nice sandwich. You stirred that Kraft mac and cheese like an expert.
Oh my gosh, instant oatmeal queen.
You heated up the leftovers like nobody's business.
Oh my gosh.
I need to talk to my husband. I need some more positive reinforcement.
I really think you should.
Maybe I would do it more.
Nah, who are we kidding? So the sizzling onions is making me a little nervous because we talked before about how the sizzling meat will wreak havoc with our sound.
Yeah, hopefully you all won't hear it. We have stopped and listened twice, and we think it sounds okay, but if for some reason we sound a little distorted,
and that is what it sounds like, crazy distorted.
Then sorry.
Oh man, we'll have to re-record everything. That would be terrible. But back to 97.
Let's get back to 97.
Yeah. The coolest thing came out in 97. I'm going to take you back in time. Tiddly-doo, tiddly-doo, tiddly-doo. Ask Jeeves.
Oh, I loved Ask Jeeves.
What I loved about Ask Jeeves is that you could pose a query.
Yes.
Just like a normal question.
A long sentence.
That's right.
Yes.
Hey, Jeeves, how do I saute onions for a half an hour and not let them burn? I loved it.
Yep, it was a good one. So while the onions continue to cook, we have a little more to do, although not a lot. We're going to
scramble the eggs, mix the eggs up.
Yep. I was going to say we're going to...
Good Lord, Carrie.
I couldn't think of the word.
What the heck is wrong with you?
I can't think of words.
Wow.
When there are no words, you just have to go with sound.
Words are gone from Carrie.
Which is, an excellent thing for a podcaster to have happen.
That's right.
All the words just go away. Okay, so we're going to whisk some eggs and milk and get the breadcrumbs and the cheese.
Right.
And make a nice soupy concoction in a bowl.
That's right.
So we are using sharp cheddar cheese.
Whoa, say that again. That was so clear.
Sharp
cheddar cheese.
And I am not typically a fan of sharp cheddar cheese. It's a little bitey.
Yeah, it is.
I don't care for it. But in cooking, it gets you can taste it.
Right.
And so I decided to delve into the world that is cheddar.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to get to go to Italy. And while we were there, we almost got to do a tour
Almost.
of a Parmesan cheese factory, which I was super excited about. I
Yeah.
wanted to see the big wheels of Parm.
Big wheels keep on palming.
That's exactly. Oh my gosh, it was weird. Like from a mile
rolling.
up to the Parmesan cheese factory, there were workers standing singing that. Crazy. It's like you were there, Kristen.
I was.
So anyway, so the factory is way out in the middle of nowhere because, there's a lot of cows involved with the cheese process. And we did not get the correct address in the GPS. And while we saw some lovely little Italian villages, we did not, in fact, make it to the Parmesan cheese factory in time for the tour.
Oh.
So I have some bitterness about that. And I thought, well, since I didn't get to see that, at least I could learn a little bit about cheddar.
Yeah.
All right. So I did not know this, but originally it could not be called cheddar cheese if it wasn't crafted within 30 miles of Somerset, England.
Okay, I thought cheddar was a British product.
Yes, because near Somerset, England, you find Cheddar Gorge Caves.
Oh.
And that is where they would make the cheddar cheese wheels and it would sit in the Cheddar Gorge Caves.
How cool is that?
I thought that was awesome.
I did not know that's how it got its name.
Yeah,
That's
I thought
awesome.
that was super cool.
Yeah.
And so there used to be like I would say a butt ton. I don't know what a butt ton is.
I'm not sure. It might be.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is a whole lot. So there are a butt ton of cheddar cheeses. And then after World War II, they just served government cheese, apparently, in England. It was just all government cheese.
Oh.
And so they lost a whole lot of the recipes to various cheddars.
Oh, isn't that sad?
I know I'm making sad face right now.
No.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's ridiculous. She's doing the teardrop coming down her face with her finger.
Okay, but I learned that in order to make cheddar sharp, you just have to let it sit as a wheel for quite a while.
I had no idea.
And the cheese goes from being creamy to a little more crumbly.
How interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fascinating. Cheddar is not the most popular cheese in the U.S.
Oh, what is
that? That is a mozzarella.
You're kidding. Well, pizza.
Right.
Yeah.
Followed closely by cheddar.
Interesting.
And here's my last little tidbit of super exciting cheddar cheese knowledge you're going to wow your friends and family with.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And this one you'll definitely use a lot.
Yeah.
When Queen Victoria of England got married in 1840, they presented her with a wheel of cheddar cheese weighing a mere 1,000 pounds.
Good grief.
Yeah. Congratulations on your nuptials. Here's a butt ton of cheese.
Wow, that is the same time when in America they were eating puds.
Were they eating puds or were they reforming the puds?
Ooh, they weren't reforming the puds until early 1900s.
Oh, the puds were still allowed.
Oh, they were still alive and kicking.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thrilled to know that.
That's good to know.
So do we have like 90 minutes left on the onion sauteing process?
I checked out the clock, which is right behind your big head, while I started the cooking process, and we only have 10 minutes.
I thought you were staring lovingly at me this whole time.
Honey, I've been flipping you off this whole time. I don't know why you'd think I was staring at you lovingly.
She has not. She just shows me the knife.
That's true. You're going to talk about what I want to talk about, and that is 1997, so shush.
We are a family-friendly program.
Family-friendly.
We do not do non-family friendly things.
We don't. I'm never going to say I'm going to cut you.
I hope not.
Oh, gosh. Back to 97. A movie that came out in 97 that I loved. My husband and I adore this movie, and it's British.
Monty Python.
It has the word Monty in it.
The Full Monty. Oh, I love that movie.
The Full Monty came out in 97.
Robert Carlyle.
He is so cute. And in that movie, these regular Joe Schmoes trying to make a buck decide they're going to learn how to do a Chippendales dance at the local pub, sell tickets, and make some big bucks.
Yes. Okay. There's a scene in the Full Monty, which I have not seen since 1997.
Oh, wow.
So I was in my early 20s, I'm assuming,
Mhm.
that just confused the ever-loving heck out of me.
What was it?
All right. It was women. They had
Yes.
been drinking. They had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they could only go to the men's bathroom.
Yeah.
And they were just acting a fool. And one of them was proud that she could go pee-pee standing up like a man and shoot it like forward.
Oh, God, this is a family-friendly podcast, Carrie.
Well, I said pee-pee.
But
Is that even possible? I was like, what? Can people do that?
I think so, but I think you have to be what they call an aggressive peer.
I don't know. All I know is that 20-some me was like, why have we included this scene? Like, this would have been a perfectly lovely movie without the women in the bathroom
Oh
scene.
my gosh.
And B, like, jaw dropped.
Yeah.
What have I just watched? Like, what is this?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite scene of the entire movie.
It wasn't that?
No, and it's
Oh.
not the booty scene at the end where you can see all their
No.
buttocks. That is absolutely adorable and funny, right? My favorite scene is when the chubbiest of all the men,
Okay.
he feels really bad about himself. He thinks no woman's going to want to see him up there. He's mortified.
Yes.
And so he decides, in order to lose weight, he's going to wrap his abdomen in cling wrap. And he sits out in the shed so his wife doesn't see him. And he's thinking this is going to shrink his gut. And he's sitting out there all sad, eating a Snickers bar.
He's my spirit animal.
He's my spirit animal too. I love that scene.
If I recall correctly, his wife finds him. And her response to him is just the sweetest thing in the world.
She doesn't find him at that moment in time, but she finally realizes that he has this great body shame.
Mm-hmm.
And she is so loving.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, I'm going to cry.
I'm letting you tell the story because I was going to cry.
She's just so loving.
Yeah, it's absolutely cute.
No fat shame in that family. And you know what, guys? We have a woodpecker that is apparently up on the chimney, and I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the background.
I like that you sound all teary. And you know what, guys? We have a woodpecker.
The woodpecker's making noises. So we've got the sizzling onions, which I haven't checked in way too long, and a woodpecker. This is a hot mess.
You're a hot mess.
I am.
Tears.
My gosh, that woodpecker will not let up.
Hungry.
Wonder if he wants some onion.
I thought maybe he smelled the onion and he's like, ooh, that sounds good. Let me get some bugs.
Let me get some bugs to go with that. Just like Timon and Pumbaa.
Or maybe he heard all that talk about cheddar cheese.
Ooh, because woodpeckers love the cheese.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I wanted to talk about what we watched on TV in 97.
I'm pretty sure it is picking up.
That's insane.
That's hilarious. I don't know where it is, but it seems like it's in the house.
I feel like it's on the top of our chimney, which is bad. That means wood rot, and that we can hear it coming down the chimney.
Oh, it feels, well, the back door's open because it's a little toasty up in here.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's allowing it to be a little loud.
That's crazy.
I don't know, but it's loud.
Gosh. Well, you know, as we're cooking, it got me thinking about some of my favorite like cooking scenes from movies and TV. And one of them is the delicious dish from Saturday Night Live. Do you remember that? It was Molly Shannon.
Oh, I got it.
Yep. It was Molly Shannon and Anna Gasteyer, and they were these like PBR radio hosts.
PBR. No, that's Pabst Blue Ribbon. You're going with the beer.
Oh,
it's actually NPR.
That's it. They were NPR hosts, and they would talk like this.
Sometimes known as PBR hosts.
PBR hosts. We drink PBRs when we're done eating sweaty balls.
On NPR.
On NPR. Do you remember?
I do.
Now, the sweaty balls scene did not come out in 1997. That was in 1998. But they were doing the skit of the delicious dish in 1997.
Oh, and then they had Alec Baldwin on, I think.
He was Mr. Sweaty.
Oh.
Who brought the sweaty balls in.
Okay, so since it didn't work in doing the entire podcast in our really lousy British accents.
Yeah.
Maybe instead we should do the rest of the podcast like this.
I hear where you're going with this. And I love it.
Thank you for listening. We are here on Mom's Wooden Spoon making a pud with onion and cheese. Kristen,
Yes.
do you like onions and cheese?
I do, Carrie. It's very delicious to me. As a matter of fact, I do believe the onions are ready.
Thank goodness, because y'all are going to fall asleep.
Oh, that's awful. So the onions are ready, but before I completely take them off the heat, I wanted to talk about a couple more skits on 1997 Saturday Night Live that just made me laugh. Our husband, we don't share a husband.
Oh, you're creeper.
Oh my goodness. One of my all-time favorite skits from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Debuted in 1997, Liam Phelps, the ladies' man.
I remember that. I must have watched SNL in 97.
We totally did. And Tim Meadows played the ladies' man, and he would get his Couvatier, and people would call into his show. And every time a woman would call, he'd go, "Ooh, it's the lady." He also said other inappropriate things. It was hilarious. Loved that skit. Another one I loved that I bet half of our listening audience will not remember.
Well, I mean, then absolutely, let's talk about things that nobody knows.
Yep, we're gonna, because it's gonna make me laugh.
Okay.
Janet Reno's dance party, no moshing.
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was Will Ferrell playing Janet Reno. No moshing.
That's right. Yeah, no one's going to find that funny at all.
Oh my gosh.
Kristen's really thrilled. And in case you can't see her.
Yeah.
Because you can't see her, every time she says Janet Reno, no moshing, she stands as Will Smith, as Janet Reno.
Oh my gosh. As Will Ferrell. We are a hot mess this episode. Will Smith playing Janet Reno would have just been weird.
It's Will Ferrell playing Will Smith playing Janet Reno.
No moshing.
And Kristen does the stance every time she says it, which maybe adds to the experience. I'm not sure.
I think it does. And the next one, I'm not going to stand like this. More? Yeah, there's one more. But I'm going to take a cue from Carrie's book, and I'm going to make noises, make sound effects.
Oh, right.
So it's Mr. Peepers. He was a test monkey played by Chris Kattan, and he would eat this apple so fast that the bits would fly everywhere, and he'd go, "Bah, bah." And he'd clap, and he'd eat this apple, and the bits would go flying everywhere. Bah, bah.
That is so dumb.
It's so dumb, and it made me laugh so hard.
I can't believe you made everybody listen to that.
You're welcome.
Who edits this thing? They should cut that crap out.
I do, and it's staying in, baby. So, la direction.
Yes.
Say, to take the very golden onions, stir in the milk, and then we're going to combine that milk mixture and the breadcrumbs in a large bowl. And then we're going to stir in the cheese and the remaining ingredients, which include salt and pepper. Yeah.
This is highly spiced.
Okay, so I'm mixing the milk in with l'oignon.
All right, bring it on over.
Deglazing that pan, get that good caramelization.
She sounds like she's on a cooking show.
Did you hear the woodpecker? He's back.
Tell him it's the onion.
Oh my gosh.
Or the cheese. He's like, oh yeah, they're going to use that cheese soon.
All right.
Got to get up in there. If you didn't have to go to the bathroom before, you do now.
Hopefully you don't have to pee aggressively. Oh, goodness. So breadcrumbs next.
And then the not dry breadcrumbs.
Dump those bad boys in there. Ooh, okay. It's still super liquidy. 2 cups of milk and then just 1 cup of the breadcrumbs. And then we have to add the cheese and the eggs. And I'm not quite sure how much salt and pepper. I think it's a ridiculously small amount.
If for some reason you're going to make this, just FYI, I think it was 2 slices of bread is all it took.
That's it.
I know. So I was in charge of bringing the bread for this recipe today. And I brought over about 7 pieces of bread and was worried that it wouldn't be enough.
It took 2. 2 is too much, actually. A little bit too much. Yep. Okay, so it calls for a half a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. We don't want to get this too spicy.
No, I mean nobody wants cheddar egg souffle pud that is spicy.
Heck to the no.
Whoa,
okay,
that's a lot of pepper.
That looks like way too much pepper.
Here come the egg.
So I have greased a 1.5 quart container. It's gorgeous. It's avocado green with flowers, 1970s
it's
flowers
fabulous.
on the outside. We're going to pour that in, and then we are going to bake this, I believe, for 30 minutes at 375.
And see what happens. So,
I know.
I'm wondering, is this sucker gonna rise?
Oh,
Is it gonna stay like omelette-y at the bottom?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Oh, this will be fun to find out. Okay.
Welcome to nature, people. Welcome to nature sounds on Mom's Wooden Spoon.
I was going to say something, but the woodpecker did it for me.
I hope you can hear it because the woodpecker has impeccable timing.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to get ready to pour this into the casserole dish. And as we do, Carrie, I found this article from January 1st, 1997 that had food predictions for the upcoming year.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I know, right? So let's see if these predictions did indeed come true.
Onion and
are you ready?
cheese pudding.
It is. Yep, with a little bit of woodpecker on the side.
Aw.
Darn you, woodpecker. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
The first one, let's see if this came true. Movable meal times. Restaurants will begin to serve dinner in the morning. Another sound effect. That did not happen.
No.
That's just weird as heck.
That is weird.
Now, breakfast all day. You can go to Waffle House and get breakfast all day.
Yeah.
Some other restaurants are
Sure, but nobody wants
dinner
no
for breakfast. No, that's just weird.
I mean, BFD, breakfast for dinner.
BFD
That's
is
a
great.
fabulous thing.
It is.
But DFB?
No. Here's another one.
Okay.
You will soon be able to buy organic versions of any type of food at the same price as other name brand foods. That did not happen either, man. No. Let's see the next one. Oh, here's a good one. Chutney will take its place in the condiment kingdom right alongside salsa. That did not happen either. I mean, I like a good chutney, right? We made our chutney cheese spread, and I've had chutney before, and I eat lots of international food, but ooh, listen to that sploosh. I was worried that this would not fit in the 1.5 quart pan, but it fits beautifully.
It does.
With room to grow if it is souffle-like.
Yes.
Ooh, that's gorgeous. You want to get a picture of that, Carrie?
Sure.
Awesome. And then I'll tell you one more 1997 food predictions. You ready?
I am so ready.
This one so totally happened. We'll go to restaurants for cyber adventures, like virtual reality safaris, complete with boar and ostrich on the menu.
Huh.
That did not happen, although we did have a restaurant in town, maybe in 98, 99, called Buckhead Restaurant, and you could go there and get water buffalo, you could get rattlesnake. It did not stay in business very long.
Nobody wanted such offerings.
No. So maybe it did come true, and then everybody said, heck to the no.
About as crazy as we have is it's Ted's Montana Grill, and they serve a lot of buffalo meat.
That's about as
Bison
crazy.
burger.
Yeah, which is delicious, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
VR safari while you eat your ostrich.
Can you imagine with your little VR glasses and then trying to get an actual plate and the meat in your face?
That's crazy.
Oh, that would be a mess.
That would be a hot mess, man.
I'm trying to envision this.
Yeah.
You walk in, you get your VR glasses, you meander around a room with others.
Maybe they just had screens up playing ostriches running through the wild.
Right.
You know, maybe that was their idea of VR.
Maybe you had 3D glasses and those ostriches would just look like they were coming right at you.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
That was it. So then you would be one with the ostrich and then you'd go into the restaurant side and eat what you just bonded with.
I think that's fun.
I mean, that sounds like a good time to me.
Oh, so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my favorite was the ending of the article.
Oh.
I will read that to you and then we'll get this sucker in the oven.
I thought maybe you were going to do like a TV game show.
Oh.
And we'll tell you what that was right after this break.
That's a great idea.
They're all going to hate me now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so guys, there is an ending to the article that I think is absolutely perfect, 1997. And we'll tell you what that is right after this break. Okay, the beautiful Puddy is out of the oven.
It is, but it took a hot minute to bake.
It almost took double the time.
Yeah.
It said 30 minutes or until golden brown, and we kept checking it at 30, and then we checked it at 40, and then we checked it at 45 minutes. I think a total of like 45 to 50 minutes on this.
Yeah, but it is golden brown.
It's beautiful.
It was lovely and puffy. It's fallen a bit.
Yes, but really, when we took it out, it was like the consistency of a souffle.
Mm-hmm.
It jiggled and wiggled and was really tall and fluffy looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, me either. But
What?
you left us with a teaser, Kristen.
Ooh, that's how I like to roll, Carrie.
But then you have to spring your way on back. Kristen.
Okay, well, here we go, guys.
Okay.
When we last spoke,
Yes.
I was going to tell you what the end of the article said. The beautiful article that was predicting some trends for the coming year in 1997.
Correct. Right? And thus far, spot on.
Oh, so spot on.
We all love our dinner for breakfast cyber cafes with weird meat.
Yeah. Yum, yum. Yes. Well, the ending I thought was quite cute. It says, finally, ominous news from Domino's Pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which reports that a full 459 of its delivery drivers were asked by customers to join them in doing the Macarena last year to get a bigger tip.
That'll drive people away quickly.
Oh, yeah. It says, here's hoping for a safer, saner 1997.
That's awesome.
That is such a picture of the time.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
It's, Super Bowl Sunday. You got your pizza.
That's right.
The drunken people watching the Super Bowl get to the door. They're like, hey, dude, 20 extra 20 if you do the Macarena.
20 extra 20?
20 extra 20. That's what they say.
Yeah, 20 extra 20 if
and
you do
the
the
guy's
Macarena.
Like, I'll do the Macarena. Color me purple and call me happy.
Heck yeah. Woot, woot. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm dying to dig into this thing.
Yes. Let's see. I'm so curious what the consistency of this pud is going to be.
Oh my goodness, it's absolutely beautiful and fluffy, and it's almost looks as if the cheese kind of rose to the top.
Yeah, I'm looking at it thinking we probably could have cooked it longer.
There's a little bit of liquid at the bottom.
Yep.
But it was really golden on the top.
It was. Well, and the falling, too, makes me think that maybe there could have been a little extra cook time. But,
That's true.
When you've doubled the amount of time that something called for, you get a little antsy.
And it was getting pretty dark around the edges.
Yes.
But she says to eat it immediately, so I'm going to let Carrie put the hot, fiery lava in her mouth first. And while Carrie's taking a bite, ooh, I can see the steam coming off. I'm going to sing you a song.
Oh, I'll eat fast, people. I'll eat fast.
No. Carrie's not going to want to eat fast because something very special and dear to her heart came out in 1997. It's a song by her all-time favorite band, Sister Hazel.
Ooh, 97.
Yep. Do you want to know what it is?
Okay.
All for You.
Oh, that's a good song.
How does that go?
I don't know.
It's hard to say what it is I see in you. Wonder if I'll always be with you. Isn't that how it goes?
Yes.
Yay!
That's a great song.
That's awesome.
That's a great band.
Came out in 97. Hard to believe.
Well, they're old like me.
They're old like us.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Mr. Woodpecker was back for a while, and now he's quiet.
Yeah, well, he's had his meal. He's full.
Well, speaking of meals, what do you think?
I think it's very good. It honestly kind of just tastes like an omelet to me. It's very tasty. It's cheesy. It's oniony. It's flavorful. I think it would be a fantastic breakfast dish.
Oh my gosh, dinner for breakfast. Carrie, they predicted it correctly.
97, the predictions were totally spot on.
Yeah.
I would absolutely take a second bite.
It is so yummy to me. I can see having that as a side dish. A piece of ham with that on the side. It'd be the salty with the sweet.
This would go so well with ham.
It really would. Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can go gung-ho, crack yourself open a can of green beans. Whoa.
I 100% would make this to go with ham in a heartbeat.
I would too.
And that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. Of course, be sure to join us for the next episode coming out on April 8th. as it is sure to be special.
Oh, yeah.
Not only does it come out on my daughter's birthday,
Oh,
it's also not one for Mary's Mellow.
that's right.
Yeah, we're branching out. This recipe was authored instead by a special lady,
Oh,
Ms. Ima Hogg. I'll be honest, I'm kind of feeling like her now. I ate a little too much of the casserole. Tune in to see what Ms. Hogg has in store for us.
heck yeah.
Thanks for listening to Mom's Wooden Spoon. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe. If you want a copy of this recipe or to check out our blog, click on the link to our website in the podcast description. If you'd rather, you could get to our website through Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Pick your poison.
Don't say poison. We're making food.
Welcome to Nature Sounds on Mom's Wooden Spoon.